Hi guys, Alena Shautsova, immigration attorney from New York is here, and today we're going to have a live regarding the most recent immigration news. I'm going to talk to you about, of course, Plan C, what's happening with that. I'm going to talk to you about the big news, about the White House's new order on travel to the United States. And that new order affects pretty much everyone, if you think about it. It, of course, first of all addresses non-immigrants who are trying to travel to the United States, but it also affects citizens and lawful permanent residents or green card holders, pretty much anyone, regardless of status. Quite a big change, I will have to tell you. And of course, in the end, if you have some questions, I'm going to be happy to answer them. So thank you very much for joining me. Hi, Shokat. Hi, Asiya. Hi, Sarmat. Please comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Don't forget to save your questions. And we're going to start. Yes, also, please, when you're joining, start sharing this live so more people will be able to join us and perhaps learn something useful for them as well. So first of all, I'm going to talk about this huge change in how people will be able to travel to the United States. And it concerns not only visitors, but US citizens and lawful permanent residents or green card holders as well. This new order is going to start from November 8th. And we're talking about air travel or travel by plane. Very, very important. As I said, it's also going to affect US citizens who just, for example, are taking vacation and then would like to come back home, or green card holders who are going to visit their family members overseas or going on vacation and are going to come home. So what's happening? You may know that there used to be what we called travel bans for certain countries, certain regions, where people from Europe, for example, were banned from coming to the United States, apart only if they would qualify for certain exceptions, like essential travel. So it would apply, I believe, for to people from Brazil, people from China, not people from Russia. But now it changes. The White House or Biden administration cancels all those region bans, but it replaces them with a vaccination requirement. But the way they do it is a little bit tricky, not completely obvious. What's going to happen now is that people who are non-immigrants, meaning that you do not have a green card or an immigrant visa, and you are not a citizen, will not be able to come to the United States unless they can show that they've been fully vaccinated. Unless they show that they have been fully vaccinated. And what is considered to be fully vaccinated is also not obvious. I'm going to tell you what it is. Citizens and lawful permanent residents, of course, will be able to travel, but there will be differences in what they need to do depending on whether or not they're vaccinated. So citizens and green card holders will be able to travel, even if they are not fully vaccinated, but there will be differences in what they need to show. Okay, very important. There are some exceptions to this rule, of course. People who are diplomats on diplomatic visas, NATO visas, will be exempt from this requirement of vaccination. Certain people, of course, also those who cannot get a vaccine because in the region where they live it's not readily available, or they have urgent need to travel to the United States as affirmed by the United States government, or perhaps they received medical exemption. They will not have to be vaccinated, but it's a very very rare, extremely rare situations. Rule of thumb, you will have to be fully vaccinated. But who is going to be considered fully vaccinated? Only a person who received an FDA approved or World Health Organization approved vaccine. And there are 3 vaccines that are currently approved in the United States, which would be Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And WHO or World Health Organization approves 4 more vaccines to that list. 1, I believe, from India, 2 from China, and AstraZeneca vaccine, which is considered to be European vaccine. That said, people from Russia who are being vaccinated by the Russian vaccine, and I would say people from Belarus and perhaps some other countries that bought Russian vaccine, if they've been vaccinated by Sputnik V, Sputnik Light, will not meet this qualification. They will not be able to meet the qualification of being fully vaccinated until World Health Organization authorizes Russian vaccines. It means that the travel ban that used to be for certain countries now, by effect of this rule, traveled to other countries. For now, at least. Hopefully, it's going to be changed soon. Now, US citizens who are not vaccinated will have to show that they also have negative COVID test within 24 hours of travel. Those US citizens and lawful permanent residents who are vaccinated fully will be able to show that test that is negative within 3 days or 72 hours of travel. So life for those who are going to be traveling internationally is going to become considerably harder, right? Children under 18 do not have to show proof of the vaccination. Children under 18 will not have to show proof, but they will still have to show that they have negative test. If they travel with fully vaccinated adults, they can present this test that was done within 72 hours. If their adults are not fully vaccinated, the test again has to be done within 24 hours of travel. Puts a lot of pressure, right, on traveling people. In addition to this, airlines are now obligated to keep complete list of passengers and provide this information to CDC if the CDC requests it. Very important. If you recall, in the past there was some tension regarding this disclosure of travelers by the airlines, and now it seems it became a must. There is no question about it, that airlines will have to share the information about their passengers with the federal government upon request. So this is what it's going to be, at least for now. You will have to be fully vaccinated with approved vaccines and present tests that you have negative results to be able to board the plane. Airlines are said to be trained on recognizing whether or not the proof of vaccination that you present is sufficient. They're going to see if you're presenting a real vaccination card, what would be the date of the vaccination, who and where, who administrated the vaccine to you and where. I anticipate, to be honest, a lot of issues with that. Why? Well, because we already see there are issues with that. In certain cities that mandate vaccines, sometimes people who believe that, or people who were fully vaccinated allege discrimination. So we're going to see how it's all going to be developing. hopefully with time, couple of years perhaps, we will not need these measures anymore, but for now, this is what's going to happen. Of course, if you are planning traveling to the United States, you need to be aware of these rules, because if you cannot demonstrate that you were fully vaccinated, again, you either will not be able to come to the United States. Let's say they don't recognize your vaccine, so you lost your vaccination proof, or you will have to present a negative test, done within 24 hours of travel if you are a US citizen or lawful permanent resident who are not vaccinated. Okay, so this is what's going on with this new order. For the domestic immigrants, people who are in the United States, you need to know that if you are filing for the green card starting October 1st, you have to be fully vaccinated in order to get adjustment of status in most cases where medical exam is required. To come to courthouses and USCIS buildings currently, you do not need to show proof that you are fully vaccinated. However, you do need to wear a mask, and according at least to clerk of New York court, someone I spoke on the phone with recently, they told me that as long as person does not exhibit any symptoms and has not had any symptoms, they can participate in court hearings. However, they may be required to show proof of a negative test done within 72 hours. That's something to know about. If you are not fully vaccinated, just to keep in mind, it's better to have the test done and have the result on hand with you, not to run into any sort of problems. Thank you, Saida, for the stars. Thank you very much, guys. So this is where we stand. COVID definitely changed our lives and the way we do business, the way we do immigration cases, and now even the way we travel, right? It's going to be much, much different. I'm concerned that I know for a fact that there is lack of those testing sites and that they are expensive too. Not everyone literally can afford it. They're quite costly. So now you have to take this into consideration if you're going to be traveling, right? And I honestly do not see that every airline will be able to provide adequate training into recognizing proof of people being fully vaccinated within this 2 weeks about or less that we have before this new rule is going to come into effect. This is something to keep in mind and account for, of course. You may, or you rather will, be turned down and will not be allowed to board the plane if airlines agents are not satisfied with the proof of you being fully vaccinated. Very, very important. Now, I wanted to mention a couple of words about immigration reform. And why only a couple of words? Because honestly, right now there is not much new information, at least what I was able to find. I know that some people are very upset about reconciliation provisions that are trying to provide more employment-based visas. I have no idea why, I'll be honest. I do not know of any good instances when immigrants took American jobs. And I know some people strongly disagree with me, but honestly, most of those jobs have to go through what we call labor certification process, where employers had to test the market prior to invite or be able to sponsor an employee with a foreign background. And that testing is not formal or easy. You have to place an ad for 30 days on a local Department of Labor website. You have to place ads in the newspaper and on the radio and on the website and at your employer's site. And guess what? If nobody applied, then I think Americans are not that interested in that job, right? The other way to invite an American worker would be to qualify for national interest waiver. is when USCIS agrees that the job is so important that no labor certification is required. So what is the problem then with these work visas? I do not know. I do not know. I know that some people have strong opposition to that. They believe that somehow foreign workers take jobs in America, but I know that many employers currently are struggling finding workers. And from my perspective, foreign workforce can really help in that hard times to restore the United States economy and help many employers to find qualified workers that they desperately need. All right, so as to the plan C, you will not gonna like it. Well, it's not that bad. It's actually been confirmed that it seems that Democrats are not going to be pursuing at this time path to citizenship. At least this is what I believe Bloomberg reported, and it's very respectable media outlet. And they will focus on parole only. Parole, we discussed with you several times. It's an authorization to remain in the United States, be protected from deportation, and you would receive work permit and a travel permit. I understand that parole will also serve as proof of legal admission for the adjustment of status purposes. We're going to see what the final language is going to say about it. Means that it will give an opportunity to many, those who qualify as immediate relatives, to get green cards without having to leave the United States. Because I'm going to tell you right now that unlike even a couple of years ago, I feel that you have to be very careful, even if you're filing for I-601A waiver and you believe you have the strongest case. I have to admit to it now that, thank you, Meji, for the stars. I have to admit to this now that the way consulates started to approach such cases changed a lot. I've noticed a lot of cases being held for administrative processing with regard to allegations of smuggling. And I believe some people who are even filing for adjustment of status are now being screened for that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about line of questioning when consulates and offices are asking you if you helped as an applicant anyone to come to the United States illegally. If you and your spouse was left in your home country and you came here first and then you paid somebody for that spouse to be transported from your home country to the United States. All right, you can be denied adjustment of status, or you can be denied visa if that happened. All right, the good thing that in many cases a waiver of smuggling may be available if you help the relative, but not in every case. Smuggling will be considered if you encouraged, helped, assisted for someone to come to the United States, either with money, with information, all right, or physically transporting them. So physical transportation is not required. It can be encouragement or money, but it has to be someone else, not yourself, all right? That's what smuggling stands for. I'm just talking about this because recently I've seen other lawyers discussing these situations, and I feel that currently this is a trend that is being followed by adjudicators who are processing immigrant visas domestically or overseas. And now, guys, if you have some questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Hi, Althea. If you're traveling from Jamaica, is the AstraZeneca vaccine qualify for travel? Correct. AstraZeneca, if you're fully vaccinated, will qualify. All right, starting November 8th. Yes. Hi, Mark. Just came to say hello. Hello, Mark. Hi, Mizun. Hi, Zisham. Nice. You're gonna be maybe coming next month. That's very nice. Let's see. How can I bring my brother here in America? Hi, Vera. It depends on what your status is. If you are a US citizen, you are allowed to file a family-based petition for your sibling. Unfortunately, it's going to take about 10 years, potentially more, depending on your country, before your brother will be able to file for an immigrant visa. This is due to tremendous backlogs in this category. It's called F4 category. You can check out Visa Bulletin and you will see what the priority date is currently, and you will approximately estimate how long it's going to take for your petition to be current if you file it now. Hi, Sunshine. Can you travel to your country if you get a travel document and get back to the United States with no problem? Nobody can guarantee you that if you travel with advanced parole, you will face no problem. And in fact, the advanced parole document on itself gives you this warning if you get one that looks like a paper, not the combo card. I personally do not know anybody who was not able to come back with the advanced parole. But again, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. Perhaps there will be some allegations of illegal conduct, arrest, fraud, or your underlying application is going to get revoked or denied, and then potentially, yes, you may be denied entry. But again, I do not know personally anyone who would be denied entry. Hi, MacLeod. If you are married to a green card holder, can you get a green card also? Actually, I prepared a very nice blog about this situation and how you can get or cannot get a green card if you overstayed your visa. So I am going to tell you now. It depends on your status. If you overstayed your visa, or let's say you came to the United States without admission or parole by crossing the border, right? Sponsorship by the green card holder will not lead to adjustment of status. It can't, because there is a bar for that. Sponsorship by a green card holder. What they can do is to stop the process only by filing I-130, family-based petition for you. But then you will need a waiver, I-601A waiver, that if it's approved, you're going to have to travel to your home country, get a visa, and come back. If you have a legal entry, but you overstayed your visa and your spouse is a US citizen now, then you will be able to adjust your status. There is a difference. You see? So can you get a green card? Yes and no. You won't be able to qualify for adjustment of status if you did not maintain your lawful non-immigrant status from the time of your entry to the United States, or maybe you never had that status. All right. You can get a waiver, so I-601A waiver. But you'll have to travel outside. And I just talked about the dangers of traveling outside. Hi, Carol. My daughter went for her citizenship interview, which she posted it going for months. And she doesn't get call. She went 2 times since no call. If I understood you correctly, your daughter went for citizenship interview and for 4 months she has not heard back. Is that right? I wouldn't say it's unusual. If she received a document that she passed the English test and civic requirement, most likely is just background checks, and then she will be scheduled for the oath ceremony unless something else is going on in her case. I wouldn't say that it's super unusual. Previously we had that the person would have to wait for 2 to 4 months. If she waits for more than 6 months, then I think you should follow up with an attorney to see what's going on in her case, okay? Hi JC, what if traveling from Dominican Republic as a tourist and I'm not vaccinated? Am I allowed to enter the United States? Not starting November 8th. Starting November 8th, you will not be. Actually, they stated that if you qualify for an exception, maybe you do, and are planning on staying in the United States for more than 60 days, you will sign an obligation to have the vaccine done in the United States. All right, so that's, but if you don't qualify for any exceptions, you will not be allowed to come unless you're fully vaccinated. And by the way, fully vaccinated means that 2 and more weeks passed from the time of your last vaccine if you have a 2-step vaccine. Hi Giuseppe, my father-in-law has a green card, my wife and I don't. In the meantime, we got married. Oh, where does this go? In the meantime, we got married. We can do to get the, what can we do to get the documents? Giuseppe, I think you should talk to an attorney about this in private, confidentially, to see what can be done. But generally speaking, just because your father-in-law has a green card, I mean, they can file for your, they actually can't even file, I'm sorry, let me take it back, for your wife, because there is no opportunity for a green card holder to sponsor a married son or daughter. But if, let's say, a spouse, your wife, would qualify for an employment-based visa, perhaps she can also qualify for I-601A waiver based on her relationship and hardship to her father. All right? But I would suggest that you talk to a lawyer in private where you have more time and explain all the details of your situation, because of course this, what I'm saying with you guys, talking to you guys, is not a real consultation. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction. Remember, it's not an advice that is you should only rely on, not only. Hi Shoaib, E2 50,000. Is it true if you have a US visit visa, you can come to the United States, change status? Otherwise, 100,000 only for certain nationalities. Can you change status? Let's go one by one. Can a person who comes to the United States and wants status change that status to something else? Absolutely, this is true. It's called change of status. You file Form 539. It must be filed before the expiration of your current status, right? About the E2 and money limits, 50,000 to 100,000. Well, actually, E2 says that there is no set amount. The amount must be substantial rather. Let's say an investor invests into a multi-million-dollar project in New York City and has only 50,000. Most likely, such an investment is not going to be considered substantial. All right. I have a good blog about this on my website, www.shautsova.com. You can read about this. If you need a consultation, we just click away. Please book an appointment. We're going to sit down with you and explain everything in detail. Hi, Akhtar. Hi, Mohammed. I want to migrate to the United States for agricultural purpose. What is the process? Also, too difficult for me to spend 30 minutes explaining, but you're probably interested in seasonal visas, right? And sometimes it's possible, but you will need an employer to be sponsored. Yes. Hi, Shehana, have applied for US citizenship and they sent me a letter saying I don't have to give fingerprints. And I haven't heard anything from them and it's been 17 months. And my green card is expired and I want to travel. What can I do? Well, you can file for replacement of your green card on extension, right? You file for an extension of the green card. Or let's say, generally speaking, a person in your situation, of course, you should always consult with a lawyer before doing that. But for someone whose green card is expired, guys, all you need to do is to file for an extension. And with that receipt, if you didn't get a sticker, you come in you make an InfoPass appointment, come in, and InfoPass people are going to give you a stamp on your passport saying that you are still a green card holder. With that, you can travel. Those stamps are acceptable for travel, international travel, but they're not going to stamp your passport if you didn't file for an extension, okay, of your green card, because your status does not expire. What expires is the proof of your status. Green card status can be taken away only by the judge. In certain situations, it can be rescinded by USCIS, but that is rare. Hi, Ned. Does the date of Plan C will change to help people who came after 2011? I really do not know, guys. I wish I had any clue about that, but right now it doesn't look this way. But we will see. It may, right? It may. Nobody will be able to tell you what's going to happen in the end, even if Plan C is going to pass. We do not know. Do not know. Nobody knows, unfortunately. Hi, Shak. What about Italian resident person? Can you please tell me more about this? What is your question? Can this Italian resident do what in the United States? Can they come to the United States? Can they apply for something? I would need to have more information to be able to answer or point you into the right direction. All right. Let me see what else we have. Hi, Mark. May I ask, how long does it take to bring fiance here from Southeast Asia? I would say the region by itself is not really important. What's important is processing times and how strong your case is, right? So if you're a US citizen and you would like to sponsor your fiance, you can demonstrate that you guys met in person within the past 2 years. The processing times, the usual timeline, usually would take about 9 months for the fiance petition to be approved. And after that, your fiance will have to go through consular processing, apply for a visa, comply with medical exam requirements, blah, 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 appear for the interview. And then if everything goes well, she's going to get, or he's going to get a visa, right? So that's how the process works. In the past, it would take a little bit over a year, sometimes under a year. Right now, consulates are extremely slow. I'll be honest, very, very slow. Even though fiancé visas are a priority, I've noticed that there is great delay in the adjudication of all cases, to be honest, consulate cases. Hopefully it's going to change. I really, really hope so, but we'll see. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your questions and sharing this live. Hopefully, we're going to have some good news about immigration reform very soon. And again, thank you for watching. Join my page if you have not done so. And I hope to see you soon.